Hello punters and welcome back to another Saturday Racing preview. Of course, in this video, this is the Randwick meeting tomorrow. Apologies, it is getting quite late, so I'm going to try and whiz through this as quickly as possible. Apologies to anyone that's really keen on the Randwick meeting tomorrow. I'll still try and give good in-depth analysis, but I'll be doing it as quickly as I possibly can. So I'm going to get straight into the race tomorrow. It's a soft 5 there tomorrow at the moment. Conditions are fine though, I'd say we could potentially dry out to a good track, which would be good to see at Randwick. So looking at the first race of 9 on the card at Randwick, it's the Tab Highway race over the 1200 metres. Look at the speed map here for this one. I'd say that Glamour Cat, Derby Star will be towards the top. Ready to Humble, Cock Match will probably be close to the speed, although we have seen from him in previous starts that he's been getting back in the field, so maybe he might drop back. Power and Tajori will probably be the other speed factors, but I'd say Ready to Humble gets across and leads this race. But look, I'm pretty keen on number 1 Cock Match here. I followed it a little bit since Danny Williams has taken it off of game and Adrian, and has been pretty good for him as well. It was a really nice win last time out by Cock Match. It carried 62.5 kilos of Goulburn and just won really well there, beating Snitzer Girl, and I think that was a really nice win. Probably they finished third at Maria behind Irish Songs, who's since come out and franked the form one again. So good form lines around Irish Song, and first up, I finished second to Beach Baby at Goulburn, who's been knocking around some good races recently as well. So I think Cockmatch has got a good chance in a race like this at the $10. So I'm going to have it on top. Ahead of number 15, Tajuri, who only carries 54 kilos here and comes off a really good first up win at Canberra, where it won by 4.3 lengths. That was very impressive. Has Karen McAvoy in the saddle. Obviously, it's got to step up to this type of grade, but I do think if it can run those types of times that it ran first up at Canberra, it can go really close here and looks to get a good run in the race as well. So I'm going to have Ian for second. Ian for third. Also, I think is a bit over the odds is number 9 Equal Balance. I'm not too sure why this horse is $71 and $15 a place. It's a horse that can run well first up, and uh, obviously has been competitive in this type of these type of highway races before. So I just think that maybe off barrier number 1 as well could get a good run in the race. I think $71 just a bit over the odds about it. So I'm going to have him for third. And then in for fourth, number 6, Hellenism, who was really good first up, where he finished third behind Fender. And I think that was a good form race in terms of a highway race to follow out of. So I think Hellenism will run well once again. But recap the numbers for me. I'm keen on number 1 Cock Match. I think it can carry the weight once again. $10, a nice price about it. To finish on top ahead of number 15 Chajori in for second. In for third, number 9 Equal Balance. Like I said, just think that 71 is just way over the odds. There's a few in these who probably should be further out in the market than he is. So I'm going to have him in for third. And in for fourth, number 6 Hellenism. The other horse who I think's got a bit of a chance is Glamour Cat for Josh Cleary and James McDonald in the saddle. Well, he could definitely be up to winning a race. This was a good win last time out. Haven't got my numbers, but do think it's got a chance as well. Move on to race number 2 on the card. It's a 2-year-old Central Coast Mariners 2-year-old handicap 1200 metre race here. Really good 2-year-old race, this one as well. I'm pretty keen to see how some of these go. Look at the speed map. Ocean Emperor, I think, will find the top with Hinchin Beast. Eliza Bill won't be too far off, and I say Piermont might get across the outside barrier and sit just in behind the speed. Real interesting race because a few of these 2-year-olds that I really like, but I'm going to go with number 4 Ocean Emperor on speed. I just was really impressed with its first up performance, and it got so well backed first up on the Kensington track there. Beat El Bueno, and it got challenged, but found a real good kick there, and that's what you want to see from 2-year-olds when they have that real drive to win when they're almost getting headed. So I was impressed with that performance, and I'm going to have him on top again. Ocean Emperor, he looks a nice type, and I think if he's able to roll along with the speed, which for a 2-year-old race doesn't look to be a whole lot of pressure, I think he'll be hard to beat here. So I'm going to have him on top ahead of number 3 Kinlock, who was really impressive first up for Chris Lees at Newcastle over a 900 metre race there. It won really nicely, was well backed there as well. Definitely has the ability. Not sure if it should be $4.60 because I think some of these horses have better form lines in it, but I was impressed with that performance there. So he's definitely got a chance as well. Peltzer was really impressive, beating Anders Gosford just over a week ago at Kembla. I was quite impressed with that performance there. That was a nice win. He really let down nicely down the outside, finished off the race well. He's $16, which I think is just way over the odds about him. He's got a good chance. And number 7, Kukaracha in for fourth, who Was really good winning on debut at Geelong, beating Million Dollar Bill. I was quite impressed with that performance. Had good jump outs leading into that. I was very keen on him on the day, and he didn't let me down. He was very good. And coming back to Sydney, I think he'll run a good race once again. A horse who I've left out my numbers that I think could probably be featured in the finish is number 10, Eliza Beale. She's been a bit of a hard one for the punters to follow. She's been well backed in her two race starts so far, where she's jumped at 380 and $3, but she's let them down. But that last start performance where she finished behind Bellevue Star, she probably had excuses. She just couldn't get out at a crucial stage of the race. Lost that bit of momentum. She got going again late and finished off well. I think, and John Sargent's confident she'll run well. And Robbie Don's one half kilo claim brings it down to 53 kilos. So she's definitely got a good chance at the $12. And to be honest, looking at her now, I probably should have put her in the top four. It's too late now, but she's definitely got a chance. So if you're keen on her, I'd definitely have an each way play on her as well. But look, open race, but I'm keen on number 4, Ocean Emperor. I was really impressed with how good he was first up, and he was really well backed, which is what you want to see as a 2-year-old. So I'm going to have him on top. And at number 3, Kinlock, who, like I said, I think's a little bit under the odds, but do respect that it's got a lot of form and a lot of ability. In for third, number 5, Pelter, I think is way over the odds at $16. Was very impressed the way he won first up. And in for fourth, number 7, Kukaracha. Moving on to race number 3 on the program. It's 1100 metre fillies and mares benchmark 78. Handicap, look at the speed map in this race here. I'd say there'll be quite a lot of pace in this as well. There's Lesage will probably find the top. Blazing Miss usually likes to get forward. Lashes usually likes to be up there towards the speed. Although from the outside barrow, I'd say they might drop back and get a bit of sort of be towards the back of the field, just because it looks almost near impossible to be up on the speed with all the speed drawn on the inside. Free-hearted, soft yellow, long bottom. Malia Magic, they always like to be close to the speed. I say they've challenged the lead, but they'll be up there as well. Dunbarry Proud is probably the only one that's a notable horse that gets towards the back of the field. So a lot of pace in this, but I do think the number 9 long bottom, if it sits about midfield, it'll be hard to beat here. I was impressed with its last start performance at Ipswich. It won well there. Finished second the start prior at Gold Coast. So brings in different form lines coming from Queensland. We have seen a lot of horses come back from Queensland or vice versa. Just Queensland horses coming down New South Wales and running well. So I think Long Bottom can run well, and Hugh Bowman, the saddle, he's flying. Obviously got 5 last week, which was really impressive. Hopefully he can continue the form, and I think this horse has a good chance at $8, so I'm going to have it on top. And at number 4, Blazing Miss, who finished behind Lesage last time out, but is a much better horse second up. So 3 starts second up for 2 wins and a placing. If we get that wet track, I think it'll suit it nicely. Even if it's on a good track, though, she's proven that she can get through any type of going. She's a very consistent horse, and I think she'll bounce back, and she'll probably turn the tables on Lesage this time around here, second up. So I'm going to have her in for third, in for second. In for third, number 1, Lashes, who will be interesting, like I said, to see if she drops back in the field first up here. But I'm pretty keen to see her go. She's had some good trials leading into this, and last preparation she was in some good form. She beat the likes of Adelong and goes around later on the program at a short price. It looks to be a good talent. Beat Echo Gem. Then it finished 4th to Rahiran and 12th to Sweet Deal in a group 3. So she's got a lot of ability. I'll be interested to see how she goes first up, and obviously racing probably not up to a usual type of racing pattern, but she'll probably be back in the field and be able to run on. There's definitely a lot of tempo and a lot of race speed for her to come into it. So she's got a chance in for third. And in for fourth, number 2, Free Hearted, who comes in this first up and might just be a sneaky chance first up as well at the $12. Do think it's got a good chance for Bjorn Baker. But look, for me, I'm going to go with number 9, Long Bottom on top. And at number 4, Blazing Miss in for second. In for third, number 1, Lashes. And in for fourth, number 2, Free Hearted. Now, I've left Lesage out, who did, of course, beat Blazing Miss last time out. But I just think that it comes in this as its 5th race start, this preparation. And I just think that Blazing Miss can turn the tables on her. That's just what I think from this one, being that Blazing Miss was first up on that occasion. Move on to race number 4 now on the program. It's the 400 metre benchmark 78 Westpac Rescue Helicopter Service. Look at the speed map for this one here. And one of my best bets of the program goes round here, but look at the speed. First and foremost, the Rule of the World, I think, will be fine to the top with Celestial Falls, Surreal Steps, Soldier of Love, and Rancho Notorious all will be up there as well. But Look, Subpoenad's probably my best bet of the program. I think that she's going to be really hard to beat here. She finished second last time at Rubisaki. That's the form you want to have. Rubisaki's the flying 3-year-old filly across the country. She's probably the best, arguably, at the moment. She's gone to two different states and proven it. So I think that Subpoena will be hard to beat. The start prior to that over the 2,000 metres was obviously finished ninth behind Shout the Bar, and prior to that fifth behind Asiago. So been around some very good form, this horse Subpoena. As long as it gets some luck from barrier number one, she'll be very hard to beat here. I think staying at the 1,400 metres looks to be her type of trip. Number 6, Soldier of Love, is one that's over the odds though at the $12. I was really impressed with her last start performance. She came well and well from the back behind Oakfield Missile on that occasion. It was paying $51 on that occasion. She's much better second up. She had 2 starts second up for 2 wins for a win and a placing. So I expect her to improve, and she's definitely well over the odds of the $12, and she'll get a good run from barrier number 3. So she's one to watch out for. Number 8, Opacity for John O'Shea. Keen to see how he goes here first up. He was very good in his first race in preparation. He obviously didn't miss the top 2 finish once from his 4 starts. So I do believe he's got some ability, and I'll be interested to see how he goes in this type of grade. So I'm going to have him in for third. Then in for fourth, number 3, True Detective, who's been in very good form, was only just narrowly beaten on the post last time out by Oakfield Missile. I think that Soldier of Love can get the better of True Detective this time round, but I do concede that obviously he has been around the mark, and he'll be close once again here as well. The other horse that I didn't put in that I want to make a mention of is Celestial Falls, who of course went around in the Oaks and finished. Was sorry, it won the Oaks trial, but then didn't end up going there. Celestial Falls, but she's got a stack of ability for Mark Newnham, and she's well over the odds of the $10 here. I could see her running a good race first up as well. Off a decent break, 200-day break, but she's been trying pretty good leading into this as well. So she's got her chance. And Miss Einstein's probably another one that's got a good chance second up as well. But look, I'm pretty keen on Subpoena. I think she's going to be hard to beat coming up against some of the males here. But I think that she's just got the form on the board. She was that good last time out, and that's the top form we're going to be bringing to a race like this behind Rubisaki. 330 is a good price as well. So going to have her on top ahead of number 6, Soldier of Love, in for second, who, like I said, was a bit over the odds for me at the $12. In for third, number 8, Opacity, and for fourth, number 3, True Detective. Move on to race number 5 on the program now. It's the Master Builders Association New South Wales Benchmark 78 1200 metre race here as well. Look at the speed map. I'd say a bit of speed. Spanish Dream, Superstar Bob will be up there. Mose Crown and Bolero King from the outside barriers will probably look to push forward. Cuban Royale, Sedition, and ISO Rich will also be, I'd say, close enough to the speed here. Now, we see a horse go around at the short price here in Masked Crusader. Really good horse, this one. But I can't dive into him at $1.80. That's too short for me. I was on him first up, and he was very impressive at Bendigo, but he's got to now come into a bit of a better class of race. Got to go the Sydney way of going this time round, which will be interesting. He has done it before. He obviously went round on debut at Wyong and was beaten by accident on that occasion. But as I said, just that bit of a query that he's got to go this way of going again now, and $1.80. Just just that little bit of query about him. He's got all the talent in the world, but there's a couple more of these that I would like to follow instead. One of those is number 5, Sagales, who has been really knocking on the door. Comes out of that Oakfield Missile and True Detective Soldier Love form, which, like we've just seen in the previous race, I do rate them as decent chances in a good race there. So Cigars has got to be a good chance here. Barrier 9's going to get a real good run in the race with all the tempo on. So I think he's the one to beat ahead of number 14, Masked Crusader. Like I said, is the best horse in the field, but just that concern to that Sydney way of going. And being $1.80 is just too short for me, so I'm going to have him in for second. If a third, number 15, Superstar Bob, definitely is up to a race like this. He's second up here. His first up performance in Maria behind Irish Songs was decent. Like I said, the form line of that's been not too bad. Irish Songs has come out since and run well. So could be a bit of a chance here at the $21. Don't think he's a winning chance, but I think he's a good chance to get be in the finish at least. And if a fourth, number 3, Eric Kanji could run well enough first up here. Isn't a noted first up performer, but It's been trialing really well leading into this, so that's really taken my I guess my interest, because its first trial beat Lashes, which she goes around with as a good chance early on in the program, as we mentioned earlier, and then she beats finished fourth by Sophia, and was pretty well held there. Was Eric Kanji, so I think he's got a nice enough chance as well. But look, I'm keen on number 5 Cigalas here at the $9. Really good price about a horse that I think's well up to winning a race like this with Bowman in the saddle. Number 14, Masked Crusader, like I said, best horse in the race, but $1.80 and has to go the Sydney way of going. So a little bit of a query. That's my only concern with him, but he's got all the talent in the world. Just got to show up now and do it on a Saturday race. So that's my only query with him. Number 15, Superstar Bob, bit over the odds at the 15 at the $21. So I've got him in for second. And then for third, number 3, Eric Kanji. But quite keen on Cigar. I think he's a good chance each way. I'd rather go him than the favourite, Ian Masked Crusader. Move on to race number 6, and it's the Signorama Arena Gosford Benchmarks 78 handicap over the 1800 metres at a lot of speed for 1800 metre race. Gee whiz. Love Shack Baby, loves to rock. Welsh Legend will be up there. Dark Eyes usually gets forward. Gone by will be up there. Canasta. Interesting to see where it lands. It has been getting back in its runs, but it could get forward as well. Shock Alert be up there. Word for Word usually likes to be close to the speed. Don't think it'll challenge for the speed, but it'll be right up there as well. So I'm really looking at the back markers here. And look, I was keen on Bertiga, but I'm going to go with Love Seat, because Love Seat she was so good in that last start performance, being Regimental Band at Canterbury. She just flew from the back and she roared over the top and did it with ease in the end. And I think she's got a good chance to win here again with Hugh Bowman. I know I've gone with a few of his rides, but he's obviously in form, and you've just got to go with the horse he thinks got the best chance in the race. And I think Love Seat's got the chance. She's been crying out for this type of distance range of 1800 metres. She steps up to this now, and I think she'll relish it and she'll run really well. So I'm going to have her on top ahead of number 3, Batiga, who definitely brings in good form lines. I mean, you look at last start, second to Canaan. I mean, that's, for me, as good a form as you can get, really. So definitely has a good chance as well, Batiga. But I just like that Love Seat's going to be on the outside of it, be able to swoop around the field, whereas Batiga's going to have to come out off barrier number 4. So that's the only reason why I've gone one over the other. But they're the definite two of the definite chances in the race. Number 7, Canasta. I'm hoping that he can bounce back from his last start performance. He was disappointing. He was beaten by Yonkers. Prior to that, he was very good beating Agassi. So if he returns that type of form, he can run well here at the $15, well over the odds for about him. And then in for fourth, number 12, Word for Word, who usually runs a pretty good race, and comes in this now for fifth behind Wild About Her last time out. Quick backup here. That in fact was earlier in the week. It was on the 2nd of May. So yeah, it's a 7-day backup for Word for Word. Obviously, it was beaten by Wild About Her, which I tipped last week at the $18, which I hope that plenty of you got on, because that was a great tip by me. But yeah, in all seriousness, I think it's a race of 2, especially with all that speed on the race. And I'm gonna have number 11, Love Seat, on top. Just think it's a better run in the race ahead of number 3, Batiga, in for second. In for third, number 7, Canasta, in for fourth. Number 12, Word for Word. Moving on to race number 7 on the program now, and it's the Lux Properties Gosford Gold Cup. Of course, we know that the Hawkesbury Gold Cup was moved here, as has the Gosford Gold Cup. So a bit disappointing for those racing clubs, but unfortunately, with the conditions the way they are, and we obviously can't. We're restricted with travel. It just is what it is, unfortunately, for Gosford. But we get to see a very good race here at Randwick, and there's a really good addition to the Gosford Cup as well. Look at the speed map here. I'd say that there'll be a fair bit of speed for a 2,000 metre race. Usually a House of Cardia likes to get forward. Boomer Rocks, Graceful Glamour will ensure they go at a good clip. The Lord Mayor likes to be up towards the pace. Costello and Il Wendo are usually there or thereabouts as well. White Boots will be close-ish to the speed. So quite a lot of pace in this type of race here. So really interesting to see how it plays out. But I do think that Graceful Glamour will find the top and be able to dictate the terms. Look, I'm counting on Yulong Prince here. I think this is his race. He's finished 7th last time out behind Life Vessel in Group 3. Prior to that, he was decent in the Doncaster Mile, where he finished 11th behind Notoya. But prior to that, he's second behind Imaging, was really good in a Group 2 there. So this is his type of race, and I think he's got a win in him. 750 is a good price about him as well. So I'm going to have him on top as, and I think he's going to be one of the, good things of the day. I think he's going to be really hard to beat, to be honest. I really like his chances, so gonna have him on top ahead of. This is interesting though. Batiga, like I mentioned earlier, was going to go around in the race prior at 3:10, but doesn't have a jockey name. Whereas in this, Brent Abdallah is on. So if Batiga comes into this type of race, I'm going to give it a chance in this race as well, because I'm interested that Gerald Ryan's going to bring it into a tougher race and scratch it from being the favourite. So it gives me even more confidence with Love Seat as well in the race prior. So we can probably get on at 390 now, especially if Batiga will get scratched. But look, Batiga has a good chance. Like I mentioned, the forms one Canaan and Tont last two starts look pretty good, especially into a race like this as well. I think could be quite competitive here. So I'm going to have it in for second, especially considering it's interesting that Gerald Ryan wants to bring it to the tougher race. In for third, number 10, Ren's Day, who was good last time out winning at Canberra. Obviously has to step up from that type of win, but has always shown a bit of ability, and James Cummings has always had a good, I guess, a good opinion of him, and if he could show up to that type of opinion, he can run well in this type of race. But at number 6, Graceful Glamour for fourth, who'll be rolling along doing her thing, and if she can run the way she did last time out, where she was just narrowly beaten by Left Life Extraordinary on the line, she'll run well again. But look, I'm pretty keen on number 1, Yulon Prince. Just think he's set for this race. I think this is the one that he can win. So I'm going to have him on top. Ahead of number 17, Batiga, like I said, really interesting to see that Garrett Ryan's going to bring it in for this race rather than the race prior where it's going to be, where it was the favourite in the market. If it's third, number 10, Ren's Day, and in for fourth, number 6, Graceful Glamour. Really good addition to the Gosford Gold Cup, very open race, but Yulon Prince is the one to beat for me. Moving on to race number 8, it's the Takeover Target 1200 metre listed race. Look at the speed map here. I'd say that our Grey Worm will find the top with us. Probably Snitz and Murillo and Chauffeur might drop in behind them there, but I'd say Grey Worm finds the top and will be hard to beat. And I do think that it will be really hard to beat as well. It's an interesting race because there's a few of these that obviously have a lot of ability as well, but just think that Grey Worm, if it's able to find the top, dictate the terms, it could be really hard to beat. He's absolutely flying at the moment. The 5-year-old Gelding was good beating Trekking last time, and I think that's the right form. Trekking's a real top horse. Has obviously finished third in the Everest last year, so he's. I think that's the right form into a race like this. So Grey Worm's going to go on top for me. Head number 1, Tactical Advantage, who he was very good last time out at Rose Hill, where he won and beating Villamai there. I'm not sure if that form's as strong as Grey Worms, but I was really impressed with the way he won there, and I think he'll run well here again. So, and it's a good price as well, $6.50 and 210. The place is a real good price. Number 2, Deprive. This is his track and his distance. He wasn't able to do it last time out behind Grey Worm, but I could definitely see him improving and running a much better race. You obviously got to give him the chance once again at Randwick to run well. He's $5.50 and $1.90 the place, good each way price. So you have him in for third. And if for fourth, number 7, Sonore Fox, I think can bounce back off its first up disappointing performance behind Grey Worm. He comes in his second up. He's not a noted second up performer, but if they just, I just think he can bounce back. He's a good horse on his day, and if he can show up up to his, close enough to his best, he'll run well. But recap the numbers for me. I'm pretty keen on number 3, Grey Worm on top, ahead of number 1, Tactical Advantage for second. In for third, number 2, Deprive, and in for fourth, number 7, Isure Fox. But I think the top top 3 in the market are the ones to beat. And All Too Royal is an interesting one as well. Obviously comes out of that Tactical Advantage race, comes in this second up. I think it could improve as well. So they're probably the 5 that I would roll with, but I'm very keen on the top 3 in the market. Race number 9 is the final race of the card, 1600 metre benchmark 88, the Kentan Machinery Handicap. Nice 14 horse field to finish off the program. Look at the speed map for this one. I'd say Zorkan, Top Prospect, and Purple Sector will be some of the speed horses. Rapido Chaparro will spear out from the outside barrier and be close to the speed, and Tangled will probably be up there as well. Now, I'm a little bit hesitant to go Tangled here because I probably made a bit of a fool of myself tipping him in the Hawkesbury Gold Cup at the huge odds. He ended up jumping at 151 to 1, but I'm gonna go with him again. And the reason being is that he comes in this second up. Gets there. He's still not going to be up to his best distance, but I just think that there's just something about him. I really liked his trials coming in. He was disappointing last time out, but nothing really came on from where he was. So maybe I can forgive that first up run. He obviously isn't a noted first up performer. He gets better the further he goes, but I think maybe second up, he just could be a sneaky with Kerry McAvoy in the saddle as well. The fact that he's just in for the ride at the 61s, I've just got to give him a chance. So I'm going to have him on top just one more time. If he disappoints me again, then that'll be it. Simple as that. But going to have him on top. In for second, number 6, Masaf. I'm really interested in this horse here. He's obviously coming across from Ireland. Horse with the race with Colin Hayes over there. So he's an interesting runner. I think he's got a lot of talent and a lot of ability. He's well short of his best, but he did run this sort of distance range as a 2-year-old was really good. So he could run a big race first up at $11. So really interested to see how he goes first up. Good each way price to find out about a horse that's got a lot of ability. In for third, number 14, Nauticus, who made some good ground last time out. Was way out of the race in that Oakville Missile race. Like I said, I think the form's going to be pretty good. I mentioned that form race a few times in this program. So Nauticus think can bounce back and run well. And number 11, Grand Piano is flying. He's in great form. He's got to step up now to a decent grade of and against some good opposition, but can't knock the winning form. But look, I'm keen on number 3, Tangle. Just thinking a race like this could be one that he could really be competitive in and go close to winning. So I'm hoping that he runs well, and $61 I think is just a bit over the odds about him. I'm hoping that Kerry McAvoy is positive enough of him, gets him forward rather than where he was last time. Actually, he had no chance from where he was last time. If a second, number 6, Masaf, as I said, real interested to see how good he is first up here, coming across from Ireland. In for third, number 14, Nauticus, and in for fourth, number 11, Grand Piano. So that's my tips and selections across the 9 races at Randwick. My best bets and my best value plays of the program. Like I said, race number 4, number 2, Subpoena is my best bet of the program at $3.30. I just think this is her race. She's going to be really hard to beat there. So I'm going to have her on top in race number 4, number 2, Subpoenaed. Number 2, number 3. Number 2, Subpoenaed. And my other best bet of the program comes in race number 6, the Takeover Target Stakes. It is number 3, Grey Worm at the $3.10 is my other best bet of the program. So it's race 8, number 3, Grey Worm, and race number 4, number 2, Subpoenaed. My best each way value bets of the program. For me, I'm quite keen on in race number 7, the Gosford Cup number 1, Yulong Prince at $7.50 and $2.60 the place. Think this is his race. I think he's going to be hard to beat. So making him one of my best each way plays of the race. The other horse that I left out, I want to mention as a best bet is number 11, Love Seed at $3.90. I think that she, especially if Batiga comes out, she'll be extremely hard to beat. So my apologies. Who am I going to take out here? Because I'm very keen on number 3, Grey Worm. So a bit of a hard one. I'll take Grey Worm. So he becomes my third best bet, all right? I know I'm not allowed to do that, but I'm going to do it anyway. So there you go. But I'm very confident of those 3, so I've got to have him in, got to make a good mention for him. And number 3, Tango in the final event, I'll make it one of my best value plays as well. I just think $61 well of the odds. I'm hoping that Kerry McAvoy takes him forward and is quite prominent in the run. But there's my selections and preview of the Randwick card tomorrow. Really looking forward to it, Gosford Gold Cup Day. If you haven't already done so, check out my Caulfield and my Morphettville preview videos, as I've already just posted those. So sorry about the lateness. Hopefully you can all get on and get a few winners ahead of tomorrow. Good luck if you're playing. As I said, check out, subscribe to me if you're new. Give this video a like and comment down below. I always enjoy the discussion. So leave your comments if your thoughts. Go and follow me on social media, CLA Racing Tips on Facebook and CLA_Racing Tips on Instagram. So thanks for tuning in. Hopefully we find plenty of winners, and hope you have a good day tomorrow and enjoy the terrific horse racing once again tomorrow.